Hi, I'm Sid Dobrin. In this video, I'll be talking about the digital project that asks students to rethink the ways in which YouTube response videos might be made more useful. This assignment does not ask students to create a response to a specific situation. Instead, it asks students to think about a genre of response and to develop a method for improving one specific type of response. Thus, the objective of the assignment isn't to have students practice writing to respond, but to have them think in depth about the role of medium and method in a popular response situation. To this end, you might want to consider how this assignment also serves as a writing to propose assignment. When I assign this prompt, one of the things I've found that I have to spend time talking with students about is how they think about the various writers or respondents who use the YouTube video response or comment apparatus. What I try to make clear is that the assignment should not be thought of as a way to constrain who can and can't respond in a public forum. That is, when I teach this assignment, a lot of times students will want to propose that the comment response feature be improved by improving the speakers, not allowing just anyone to respond. For a number of reasons, of course, this should not be seen as a viable option for this assignment, including the fact that it adjusts the focus of the assignment from the medium to the writer, and also because the proposal is elitist and designed to silence rather than empower. Likewise, I found that some students will suggest that the key to improving the comment response medium is to teach YouTube users the kinds of things found in this chapter. This too is a problematic response because it also focuses on improving writers, not the medium. In some ways, though, this approach can be directed to a more useful conversation for the assignment. I've had students translate the conversation about making YouTube response writers more rhetorically aware of how they craft responses into practical approaches for developing more rhetorically focused guidelines and tutorials for YouTube response writers. In a lot of ways, I've liked the assumptions of these kinds of responses to the assignment because they emphasize a kind of rhetorical education approach. However, in the same breath, they also impose a new kind of constraint on the YouTube community, and I want to be sure my students think through the implications of making such constraints, particularly in terms of stifling creativity and restricting marginalized voices. That said, though, one of the benefits of crowdsourced conversations like the YouTube comments and responses is that they leave much room for users to innovate how those spaces get used. With this in mind, I find that students, with a bit of critical guidance, do find some useful suggestions for making the YouTube comment and response feature more useful as a public space for critical engagement, response, and dialogue. When I assess this assignment, I try to convey to students a clear idea of what I'll be looking for in their responses to the prompt. And I like to provide a version of the assessment rubric I've included with the instructor materials for this chapter. Using this rubric, I emphasize with students the importance of the situational understanding part of the rubric because the YouTube response space is a diverse and dynamic space, thus requiring detailed critical engagement on the student's behalf. Likewise, because the prompt asks for a kind of innovation, I also emphasize the critical thinking segment of the rubric. So those are just a few of the kinds of things that I try to be alert to when assigning this prompt to my students. I'm sure that as you use the prompt, you'll find innovative tweaks that you'll want to make to the assignment as well in order to best meet the needs of your classroom, your curriculum, and your students. Thanks for using Writing Situations, and thanks for watching.